Okay, I'm out here working on my 68 Chevy C10 and I'm replacing the door pin bushings, and I've already done the bottom, and when I started on the top I realized I might just stop in and shoot a video. So all I've done so far is I'm trying this without taking the front fender off, because when I go back to put it back in, I'm just gonna line up all the rust spots, see where it's paint, and then I'm gonna line it up that way. And if that don't work, I'm gonna take that fender off, that way I can get it adjusted right. But I'm hoping this way will work right here. So I've got the bottom in, and I'm working on the top. So what I've done so far is I've taken my door off using a floor jack and a piece of wood that was on the end of it. That block of wood right there was on the end of it. And I've unscrewed my door from the hinges, and I used that floor jack. And I was able to do that by myself. I just had everything pre-positioned. The door wasn't real heavy. I just had everything pre-positioned, and I have it laid on some wood not to scratch it. If you don't have a good paint job, I mean, that's something you don't really have to worry about. So what I'm doing now is I'm able to take these 3 bolts out, and I'm just gonna take this whole hinge off. That's your best option. And I'm gonna take it over to my press, or I'm gonna hang it in my vise. I'm gonna beat it out. I didn't have too much luck with the press on this bottom one, and I finally just said, screw it, I'm gonna go with the vise, and I started beating it out through the vise, and it actually started coming out. So this may be the first thing I try with this one right here. But I'm gonna go ahead and get this bolt finished out. I'm gonna take it over there to the workbench and see what we gotta do to get this pin out. And hopefully it don't crack any of the bracketry or anything of that nature, and I gotta buy a new one. So I'm gonna go do that, and then we'll hop back in. All right, I got this hinge apart. As you can see, I left my door pin in. This is what I got off of eBay for the door pins. It goes from 55 to 91 supposedly. The door pins that it came with are just a tad bit longer than what I've got. So my door pins aren't really damaged. So I'm just gonna reuse these. That way I don't have to cut a whole lot of extra off. And I'm just gonna use the brass bushing. So what I'm gonna do is, there's plastic ones in here right now. I done got this side out. I'm gonna put this one in there, and I'm gonna like press it in using my vise, if you have a vise, or you can just use a hammer if you have a hammer. And then on the other side of here, I gotta get that plastic one out, and I'm gonna put the other one right there. And then I'm gonna drive my pin back in, and that should be relatively it as far as that goes. I ended up having to beat it out with a hammer. I used lots of penetrating fluid. That's something I forgot to mention earlier. You need to go ahead and start with it on the truck, penetrating it for days with WD-40 or some kind of PV blast or something like that. And then I would move it a little bit, and I'd spray some more, and I'd come back, and I just used a big old punch, and I finally got it to move. So hopefully this helps. So far what I'm doing, I haven't seen anywhere where I've cracked it when I've tried to beat it, but I used my vise, and once I got it down far enough, I could use my press at that point, and I pressed it all the way out after that, which was a lot easier. It just like tries to turn up on you when I use my shop press, unless you have something a little bit better than what I've got. So that's why I had to beat it out. So let me get these bushings in, and I'll see you back over at the truck. All right, I've got this thing put back together. as you can see, this is that little, see where it was actually sitting. I was able to salvage the original one, and you can see the paint lines. And that's where I'm gonna try to sit it up there to, you know, fill the paint up, or the non-painted, and it should go just like that. And you can see where my washers to my bolts were, and I'm gonna try to get it as close to position like that, and hopefully I don't have to do really any adjusting beyond that. So I'll do that, and I'll get the door back on, and I'll let y'all know how much I had to do actually, if any at all, but I'm hoping I didn't have to do any. Okay guys, I'm back. I got the door back on, and I did not have to adjust it when I lined it back up with the exact marks that I had on it. So everything lined up pretty good, and it's real snug. So mine definitely had to be changed. My pins, I kept my factory door pins. I reuse those because right there they are. I reuse those because they were shorter than what it came with that I bought. So, but anyways, that's it. If you have any questions, just give me a shout.